Those responsible for the massive warehouse fire in Boyle Heights will be held accountable. That is according to LA Mayor Karen Bass. With the fire mostly out now, crews are working to remove tens of millions of pounds of rotting food from the building. Today, the mayor issued 2 executive orders to supercharge the recovery and remediation process. The directives aim to streamline the cleanup process and increase city resources to help the neighborhood. The city will also be deploying stations for mobile health screenings.
And tonight, that community is sharing new concerns about another possible environmental impact from the fire. Experts are working to determine whether the runoff water from the firefight carried potentially toxic chemicals into the LA River. NBC4's Keenan Willard joins us live from Boyle Heights with that part of our coverage. New tonight at 6. Keenan.
Annabelle, we're talking to people who live here in Boyle Heights. They tell me they're worried, they're frustrated, and not just because of this other environmental consequence potentially from the Lineage fire. They're thinking about that incident just a few weeks back when you had thousands of gallons of crude oil pouring into the LA River just a few miles away from the scene of the warehouse fire. So in the wake of those back-to-back potential environmental issues here in this community, people tell me they want to know if they're at risk and they want to know what leaders are going to do to protect them. Days after the smoke lifted from the Lineage warehouse fire, people living in Boyle Heights turning their attention to the water still pouring out of the burned building.
And it's always something that we have to deal with here on the east side of town.
For nearly 2 weeks as the Lineage cold storage building has burned, firefighters have sprayed countless gallons of water that then flowed into storm drains before ending up in the LA River.
And so specifically what we're concerned about and really only have capacity to test right now are for heavy metals.
Researchers from UCLA are now testing the runoff water from the warehouse fire for contamination after chemicals from solar panels and other building materials were burned.
And that could potentially mix with the water that was used and the foam that was used, be releasing contaminants into the river. And so, of course, anything that impacts the environment could potentially then make its way to impact human health.
Experts say any contaminants could impact people who come into contact with the LA River near the fire site, or even miles away in Long Beach, where the LA River empties into the ocean.
That just doesn't seem fair. That's, one environmental disaster after another. There was that, and then there was the oil spill a few weeks back.
In May, LA County says at least 2,400 gallons of crude oil spilled into the LA River in East LA after a work crew broke open a pipeline. That spill happening just 3 miles upriver from the site of the Lineage fire. Marta Herrera lives in Boyle Heights. She says the smoke from the warehouse fire made her and many of her neighbors sick. And now she says she's getting rashes on her skin after bathing at her home. Some people living here saying after 2 potential water emergencies in Boyle Heights in a matter of weeks, enough is enough.
It's always in our neighborhoods, and it's time that things start changing around here, or we're going to have to do what we got to do to use our voices to make those changes necessary. We're tired of it.
A lot of frustration you could hear here in Boyle Heights. Now, UCLA says they hope to have the results from that testing process in the next few weeks from the Northeast. Now, we reached out to LA County today for a response to those community concerns about both of those incidents in recent weeks, potentially affecting the water quality in the LA River. The Department of Public Works has not responded to us, but in a press conference today, LA County Supervisor Hilda Solis did say that the county is aware of concerns about contaminated runoff and that they are actively working to eliminate or reduce as much as possible any contamination. In Boyle Heights, Keenan Willard, NBC4 News.